Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account and it says, I, 28 female, found out my boyfriend, 41 male, has been requesting cash back on my debit card. Trigger warnings before we do get into this story. There is drug use, infidelity, racism, misogyny, and abusive behavior in general. So if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. I don't know where to start. I just found out that my boyfriend has been getting cash back on my debit card without my knowledge. A little background, we live together. He doesn't have an income. He gets fired from jobs quickly for no-shows, arguing with supervisors and co-workers. He's worked a total of 6 weeks since 2021. Money is getting tight. I noticed that the charges from the grocery store were getting higher. I asked him about the charges and for the receipt. He would get defensive, call me names, walk away, lock himself in his car, and accused me of being insane. Every disagreement ended with him blocking me on social media, and he changes his relationship status to "it's complicated" or "single." It makes me feel insecure. I apologize and try not to think about it. Last week, he asked to use my debit card to get drinks and snacks. He came back with 2 fountain drinks. My card was charged over $28. I asked him about it. He said that he didn't owe me an explanation for a stupid question. A few hours later, he had a change of heart. He told me that the self-checkout wasn't working and the cashier did the transaction. I emailed the store and asked for a receipt. It showed me that there was a $20 cashback withdrawal and the transaction was done at the self-checkout. I reached out to the other stores and requested receipts. All show cash withdrawals. So far, there's a total of over $200. I haven't confronted him. I don't know how to bring it up. He has a really bad temper. This is the first time I have evidence of his betrayal. For me, the cashback is probably the least shocking thing within this story. He doesn't work, he gets fired constantly, gaslights you, lies to you, calls you names, blocks you during arguments, and now you've confirmed he's literally stealing from you at the same time. And his reaction to all this is really telling as well. I mean, you're not asking him crazy questions, are you? You're literally asking him where your own money is going, and he responds by making you feel insane until you actually back off. And it's clearly a pattern of behavior as well. And the fact that OP is scared to confront him because his temper, it says a lot about the situation that OP is in, which is incredibly sad and scary at the same time. And I probably should have mentioned the age gap straight away to begin with, but yeah, there's that as well. And I can imagine a lot of the comments are going to go like, why are you still with him? But we see it in many stories. OP has been worn down by this kind of behavior, so where she's been gaslit and now is questioning her own sanity on it. But yeah, OP obviously does need to get themselves out of that situation in the best and safest way, of course, possible. But Peak Penguin says, quoting, "We live together, he doesn't have an income, he gets fired from jobs quickly for no shows, arguing with supervising co-workers, he has worked a total of 6 weeks since 2021, money is getting tight," and then says, "Why are you still with him?" Then quotes again, saying about him getting defensive and calling names and locking himself in his car, and then says, "No again, why in the world are you still with this guy?" Quotes again, "My card was charged with over $28 and asked him about it," and then says, "Oh my god, why are you with him?" Prison says he didn't owe her an explanation for her money being missing. What the fuck? Had 2 guys steal from me in similar manners. One's excuse was, "We were a team. It was only insert number here money. He was just borrowing it." I told him if it was so little money, he was free to get his own. Team members communicate rather than steal, and if he were going to go to Walmart and take something and just tell them he was borrowing it and would return the money when he got paid, they would still arrest him. This shit doesn't get better, especially at this guy's age. Opie says, "Speaking of Walmart, I refuse to go to Walmart with him. He will take something then exploit the return policy. He will tell customer service that he paid cash and ask for a gift card. When he uses his 3 returns, he will ask me to do returns. I refuse. He calls me a dumb B for refusing free money. He calls himself Robin Hood and prides himself on taking from the rich/big guy. When I voice my disagreement, he gets angry and locks himself in the bathroom. He told me that it's Walmart's fault for allowing returns without receipts. Everybody does it, and quit acting like a scared idiot. So the editor on this post says that the next two updates are almost the same. One was deleted and reposted, but both have info, the other doesn't, so you can get the full picture. So if you want to skip one or the other, totally up to you, but I shall cover both. First one says, I want to thank everyone for their comments. The comments were eye-opening. I realized that I've been completely brainwashed, stripped of my identity, divinity, and common sense. In my desperation to keep the peace, I ignored every flag. What I discovered this week. I waited for him to fall asleep. I wanted answers without the gaslighting. I unlocked and snooped through his phone. Not my proudest moment. He's active on multiple dating sites. Has a Facebook page using an alias and is talking to multiple women. The messages are crazy. He told slightly different stories to different women about his living situation and income. I found messages between him and his exes. He told him that I'm insecure, controlling, insane, jealous of every female regardless of age and appearance, a gold digger, and wants out of the situation. He called me several racist terms, which I obviously won't repeat, and also disgusting, fat, and ugly. Then women sympathized with him. One woman is recently divorced and waiting for house to close. She invited him to stay with her and get away from the insane illegal. He convinced these women that he is unemployed because I'm too insecure to let him work. Some of his messages were diabolical. He made a joke of my emotional pain. He enjoyed watching and listening to me beg for basic affection and time together. He said I would never give in to the dirty, racist term again, let the bee beg the white man like the lowlife she is. He laughed about making me pay for affection. It makes sense. He was nice or affectionate when he wanted something. There were messages about him withdrawing money from my debit card. He didn't consider it stealing because he should be paid for, typing the disgusting racist term again. His married ex-girlfriend from 2012 told him that she will leave her husband for him, yet she doesn't have a job either. She was encouraging to make the ugly, disgusting bee pay. He told these women that he would never mistreat a white woman. He used my Hispanic background. I was born in California, and alleged insecurity to justify his lack of financial contribution and targeted cruelty. He called me an ugly, fat, and nasty, racist term, B. I've never received public assistance and I'm average weight. I can't believe there's women who find this okay. I snooped in the closet and I found drugs. I almost passed out. Now I know why he needed cash. I feel disgusted and scared. He shoots up meth and heroin. I made an appointment for HIV and STI testing. I'm scared to death. Those racists can keep the junkie. I'm not going to reach out to those women. If they're evil enough to entertain a man who admits to cruelty and racism, then they can figure it out later. I can't believe that man made a game of my pain. I didn't confront him. I secretly got my valuables out of the apartment. He didn't care or notice that I've been distant. I don't say much. He's happier because I haven't been disturbing his peace in alone time. I guess he hated me for being Hispanic. He will be getting a 30-day notice today. My property management is taking responsibility. Needless to say, staying is not an option. Finding those cashback withdrawals and posting on Reddit are the best things that's happened to me. So this is where OP came in with that other post. The editor said it's slightly the same, but there's some other parts that might add to the story. It says, I'd like to thank everybody for their comments. I read every comment. My previous post was deleted because of the language used in the post. I'm going to clean it up and paraphrase what I found out this week. To everyone who mentioned a substance abuse issue and cheating, you guys were right. I snooped and found both. He's active on several dating apps. The women are just as bad as him. He admitted to purposely mentally tearing me down. He made comments about my ethnicity and appearance. He justified stealing from me. According to him, I should be grateful that a good-looking guy like him would touch me, and the money he took from my debit card was below what he deserved for degrading himself. Accused me of being insecure, insane, jealous, and he remained unemployed because of my insecurities. I wish I could go into details, but it gets bad. To everyone who mentioned he's been stealing cash. Yes, he's been requesting cash back since 2022 when I first gave him my debit card. He withdrew up to $60 on a single large purchase. I worked 50 plus hours a week. I thought I could trust my partner to run errands. I was able to get more receipts. He stole $300 last month. That's what I could prove. He was given a 30-day notice by the apartment property management. He changed his relationship status to "it's complicated" and threatened to change it to "single" if I don't find him another place before 30 days. He said that he has standards and refuses to be with a homeless B. He plans on staying with a friend, so I better find a place. He had demands for the next place, at least 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2-car garage, front yard and a backyard in good area. I smiled and said, okay, I'll try. I'm not trying anything. I'm going home to my dad's house. Well, maybe his female friends could help him out. I'm not reaching out to those women to warn him. They will figure it out when 6 months have passed. He hasn't got a job and they have to fight for the bathroom. Yes, he's still locking himself in the bathroom. I'm assuming he's on the dating apps or dehumanizing me to his friends. I let him use my debit card because I really did believe we were a team. I didn't think that a partner would steal from me and lie to my face. I didn't snoop before because I believed that he was right. I shouldn't be violating his privacy. He convinced me that his conversation with friends and how/what he spends money on was none of my business. He's right. The relationship is going to be very complicated between him and my debit card. I didn't confront him about anything. It's better for him to believe he's doing a great job hiding his second online bathroom life. And bloody hell, all I can say on the back of that one, I really do hope OP stays absolutely safe and gets away from that guy, goes to her dad's or whatever she needs to do, because that guy sounds absolutely wild, completely unhinged. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. It has trigger warnings on it of sexual harassment, so if you do want to skip it, please feel free to do so. As always, timestamps are down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. It's from Opal Spice, who says, Am I the arsehole for calling my friend desperate and leaving her by herself? I, 21 female, used to date this guy, Connor, 25. Connor and I met through some mutual friends and dated for around 7 or 8 months. He broke up with me and immediately moved on with one of my best friends, Millie, 28. It was hard to watch and it strained my relationship with Millie for a while. She had constantly reminded me that they were dating, and at the time it was hurtful. However, during that time I met my current boyfriend, Matt, 21. After Matt, the comments stopped meaning anything and I was able to fully accept things. My feelings for Connor disappeared and eventually I was able to move on and be happy. I mended my relationship with Millie as well, and I will live with Matt after about a year together. I wasn't able to introduce him to everyone, but I got around to it a few months ago. The moment I introduced Matt, Millie began making the weirdest comments. Things like, ooh, OP, you and I have very similar tastes, and be nice to him or I might have to take this one from you too. It was super uncomfortable for both me and Matt, so I texted her after to let her know that those comments weren't appreciated or appropriate. She told our mutual friends about it, and it was split between her being wrong and them telling me I was overreacting. She eventually apologized, but the jokes continued, just more subtle. It was easy to brush them off. She called me a few days ago begging us to come over. Apparently Connor had dumped her and she was having a mental breakdown in their apartment. We showed up, saw the place was a mess and told her to shower while we straightened up and ordered dinner. She calls for help from the shower. I go to help her and she's in her robe with it fully open, laying in the floor with her legs open. The second she sees me, she closes her robe and stands up like nothing happened. I didn't know what to think, but as the night went on, it just got to be a lot. She wouldn't get dressed out of her robe and kept almost exposing herself. It got a little late and she suggested I go home. I asked if she was okay with this. She said yes, so I began to pack up with Matt. She asked if Matt could stay with her and I told her if she felt that unsafe alone, she should come home with us. She restated that she just needed Matt and I snapped. I called her a desperate little bee and left shortly after with Matt. She was crying when she left, but I didn't care anymore. She kept calling us, but we refused to go back. Yesterday we found out that she had a full meltdown after we left and didn't show up to work for 5 days. Her sister came to check on her and found the house an absolute mess. Millie told them we left her alone after she begged us to stay. I told our friends my side and most of them are saying I did the right thing, but her sister and some of our other friends are saying that I'm the asshole for leaving her alone when she was clearly in crisis. Honestly, I'm beginning to think I should have just sucked it up and held my tongue. Am I the asshole though? Again, like we see in a lot of these stories, there was a pattern to this kind of behavior. She was repeatedly making inappropriate comments about your boyfriend. That behavior seemed to be escalating over time and then very deliberately creating a situation where she was exposing herself and trying to get him alone. I mean, the shower moment in itself is not normal behavior, and then asking specifically for your boyfriend to stay instead of you? That's fucking massive red flag. Sure, she may not be okay, but being in a crisis doesn't give someone a free pass to cross boundaries or sexually harass OP's partner at the same time. You didn't walk out for no reason, you stepped away because there were some serious lines being crossed in that moment. A commenter says, leaning towards not the arsehole, but wondering if there might be some everyone sucks here-ness going on. Have you spoken to Matt about it? How does he feel about it? Was he super uncomfortable with the situation, or was he playing along? Did he want to stay with her? He's a person and can make his own decisions, so you might be out of line for jumping in to answer for him, assuming you couldn't tell from his body language that he was ready to leave. Opie says he was confused as to why she needed him there, and when she said she just needed him there, he told her straight out that he wouldn't be there without me. Commenter simply says, is this for real? Come on, you're not that dumb. But if it is, and you are, you're not the arsehole. Opie says, I never thought she was this bad. She was a really good friend despite this, and I honestly thought she just had a flirty personality. Reading all these comments is truly eye-opening, and I feel so stupid. It wasn't until that night where everything clicked. Commonwealth says, I'm shocked that you are still friends with this person. Holy hell, how many times does she have to betray you for you to realize she isn't your friend? Opie says, to be honest, I didn't see her dating my ex as a betrayal. I didn't own him and they're both adults. It was weird, but I guess I didn't see it as unforgivable. Opus Moose says, you think you should have just sucked it up and held your tongue after you walked in on her propped up naked on the bathroom floor, which was quite obviously for your poor boyfriend. You're not the asshole for leaving or calling her desperate. This is a fact, no matter how harsh it sounds. You would be the asshole if you ever saw her again, or ever exposed Matt again to this kind of clown show. Opie says, I didn't think it was for him in particular. She didn't call out his name, she just called for help. I rationalized it as her being embarrassed about falling naked. Hindsight is 20/20, I guess. Blondie says, kinda unrelated, but what did you and your ex break up over? Sounds like it isn't her first time trying to steal your boyfriend. Opie says, he said our relationship was pretty much done. He never went into detail, just told me he didn't feel much for me and didn't want to drag it out. 2 weeks later, they were dating. And a top commenter said to OP, not the arsehole at all. She is way out of line and inappropriate. In all honesty, I don't think this friendship is healthy and you should end it. She had every intention of trying to have sex with your current boyfriend. Does she need help? Probably. Are you responsible to get her that help at the risk of your own mental health and relationships? Hell no. Her sister and family need to take care of her, not you. And if her sister contacts you again, tell her sister is her problem. So Opie comes in and says, edit, thank you to everyone who responded. The whole thing has been eye-opening and I feel so dumb for believing this woman ever cared about me. I thought a good could outshine the bad, but it's not enough. Ironically enough, I had a bit of a meltdown of my own today. I cried for a few hours after posting and reading everything. I apologized to Matt for keeping her in our lives. He forgave me and we called Millie and told her that we are done. I dropped off all of her belongings I had in my car / at my apartment this morning and blocked her on all social media. I told my friends the whole story, even with all the embarrassment I felt. Everyone but Millie's sister and friends were in agreement that she isn't who we thought she was at all. I also, with Matt's permission and encouragement, confronted Connor. I asked if he had done anything with Millie while we were together and he denied it. I didn't believe him, but I refused to dwell. I'm moving on with my life. Thank you all so much for your help. And absolutely the right thing to do. I kind of think that behavior is only going to escalate as things go on, but what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Disastrous Wash 8968 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit. It says, am I the arsehole here for telling my co-worker I can't babysit her daughter anymore? I, female 20, am very close with one of my co-workers, female 31. She has a very sweet 9-year-old daughter. I babysit this daughter most weekends for free. I also have a lot of pets, including several fish tanks. My co-worker's daughter has always been super interested in my pets, wanting to hold, feed, and watch them. One day I noticed a bad smell coming from one of the tanks. I looked around and noticed several fish dead on the floor behind the tank. My tanks have floating plants that keep the fish from jumping out, not to mention the amount of them that had come out was very odd. I have cameras in my house, mostly to watch my pets while I'm at work. I looked to see if there was anything odd captured on the camera closest to the fish tank and saw something disturbing. My co-worker's kid has snuck her hand in the tank, held it there, I'm assuming till one of the fish swam near it, pulled it out, tossed it behind the tank, then repeated this several more times. Then she walked away, leaving the fish to die. As soon as I saw that, I got very angry and called my co-worker and told her that her daughter was not allowed back to my place. I explained what happened, expecting her to be disgusted and apologize for her daughter's actions. Instead, she got mad at me. I called her on Friday and was supposed to watch her daughter the next day while she worked. I explained that I wouldn't put my animals in harm's way by letting her come back to my house. She said some stupid shit about people making mistakes and that her daughter is young. This pissed me off even more, and I told her this is how serial killers are made and that her daughter needed therapy before she decided killing animals was boring and moved on to humans, then hung up on her. It's been a few days and I'm feeling very conflicted. I love this kid. I've been babysitting her since I was 17 and she was 6. She's a very sweet and quiet girl, and from what I've personally observed, she loves my animals, but I have video evidence of her killing my fish. I don't want her to try and go for one of my other pets or kill any more of my fish. I genuinely can't even think of a reason she would have done this that doesn't involve her just wanting to kill the fish. Am I the asshole for not letting her come back to my house? Edit, I feel I need to clarify some things. I'm using babysitting loosely here. For the most part, we would watch TV together or she'd watch me play games in the living room. She would hang out with the cats and dogs sometimes, help me with my other animals, something she would ask me to do. I wouldn't follow her around the house, especially the past year, because I trusted her to make good decisions. I have cameras that send notifications for loud noises. I assure you all that she was receiving attention. If this was something she did for attention, then why do it now and not in 3 years I've been babysitting her? Also, to clarify why I did it for free. My co-worker is a very busy woman and a single mother who works 2 jobs. She's also very helpful at work and often is the one who covers shifts when needed. I also didn't mind having her daughter around because she would offer to help clean up while she's here. She's also a very quiet kid, very willing to sit and watch TV for hours at a time. It never felt particularly like a job, and I didn't want to make her mother pay for another thing on top of everything she already pays for. A commenter says to OP, not the arsehole, she knows she's killing the fish. But also, you're 20, and why are you spending every weekend babysitting for free? Even without the disturbing fish situation, please enjoy your free time. You're not obligated to be someone else's free childcare. OP says, my idea of enjoying my free time is watching TV or playing video games, both of which I can do while babysitting. That's also why I did it for free. I wasn't a super high effort babysitter, mostly just let her come over so she wasn't alone at her house. Commenter says, not the arsehole, but why were you ever doing free babysitting for anyone? And why are you still describing this child as sweet when you have video evidence of her killing your fish? She's not 2 or 3 where she may not understand what she's doing. She's 9. OP says, before this, I would have described her as an angel. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she would even do something like this. A commenter, who was downvoted, says, so you're meant to be babysitting and a 9-year-old was unsupervised enough to do that. Kinda on you there, not the kid. The kid could have really hurt herself there. OP says hurt herself. She's 9, not 2. I'm also using babysitting pretty loosely here. She's a very well-behaved kid who just watched TV with me while her mum works. I don't follow her around because I assume she knows what not to do. This isn't something I or anyone would expect a child to do, but other than this, she hasn't done anything wrong in the 3 years I've been watching her. I had a lot of trust in her. So eventually, OP did come in with what was their final update and says, a couple of days ago I posted about my co-worker's 9-year-old daughter killing my fish, causing me to not let her back at my house. I finally talked to the daughter. I allowed her to come over on Sunday. I asked her if she knew why I was upset, and she told me she hadn't known I was upset. Her mother lied to her and said the reason I wouldn't let her come over last weekend and Saturday was because I was busy. I then showed her the video and explained why I was upset. First, here's some more context. The fish she killed were guppies. If you know anything about guppies, you know they breed like nothing else. You can go from having 2 to having 50 in a month. It's insane and something I complain about often. Every couple of months, I give some of my guppies to a local fish store. I refer to this as getting rid of the babies. My co-worker's daughter told me she thought she was helping me, that she got rid of the fish for me. She said she knew that I didn't like having too many of them and had noticed there were a lot and thought she would get rid of some. I then explained that I give the fish back to the pet store when there's too many, not kill them. I also explained that killing animals, no matter how small, is wrong, especially in the way she did it, leaving them to suffer. She apologized profusely, continuing to say she thought she was helping. I asked why she hadn't told me about it or asked before she did it, and she didn't have much of an explanation, just kept apologizing. She was very upset, so I dropped the subject. I'm not sure how I feel about this explanation. She seemed sincere when she said it. I want to believe her, but I'm still confused on why she hadn't told me about it. Commenter says to OP, I'm more concerned that almost every single person commented on your first post to stop babysitting and take a step back, and you didn't. We can't help you if you don't want to help yourself. OP says I wanted to talk to her about why she did what she did. It didn't feel right not having an explanation from her. Commenter says I'm more concerned about why her mum lied to her. Commenter replied saying because she didn't expect OP to follow through with a threat of not babysitting. A commenter says throwing them behind the tank indicates she knows she was doing wrong. End of conversation. Regular says I would still be concerned as well. At 9, she should have some awareness that it's wrong to kill animals unless they're actually planning to eat them, and maybe don't mention that, or she might think guppy stew is a good idea. Bloody hell, that one was a bit scary in some ways, right? And what was with the mum actually lying to her? That's going to prevent any accountability, and all learning from happening is just making the situation worse. And I agree with the comment, the way she did it still matters. Reaching in, taking the fish out one by one and throwing them behind the tank shows levels of awareness that something wasn't right. She knew it was wrong, which is a bit concerning. There were some people saying maybe there was stuff going on at home and that's why she's reacting this way, etc. Not that makes it right, but trying to just find an explanation for it. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with that if it was you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, your support, your time, it always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Truly, it's absolutely amazing. And hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.